Hey y'all, it's CherokeeStarfish. Welcome back to Betrayal in Antara. When last we left off, Kaelyn and Raal had just managed to help out over here near the town of Durst, where a girl named Phoebe was trying to save her ancestral tree from a forest fire which had been started by careless mercenaries who were chasing William and Aren as they attempt to save the Imperial Consort. Whew, that is, that's a lot. So, where do we go from here? Well, I want to head down to this intersection. That's where we were originally going. And I'm hoping that what we will find is that we can explore a little bit of this area around here. We didn't really try it much, even though we had to go to Grandeur at the beginning of Chapter 7, because they immediately sent us back to Darby. And then from Darby, they told us to come this way. So I would like to see what else is new up here, at least briefly. We'll kind of do the loop-the-loop. Because we know that William and Aren are heading for Antara to try and return the Imperial Consort to safety. Where we're going to meet them precisely, I'm not sure, because we're still kind of getting the runaround. So... Oh, and it's immediately nighttime. Okay, sure. Well, I definitely don't want to accidentally run into any bandits. We bought all of that lovely armor and enchanted it. And we bought a sword and enchanted it. And, of course, because we have not yet reunited with the boys, there's our forest fire, which I assume is no longer relevant. But yeah, we haven't been able to pick that up yet, and we won't until Kaelyn is actually back with them. So, we have to be careful around the bad guys, because their skills seem a lot higher in this chapter than they were. Even if the equipment that they're using is not really much better. Okay. So, this is my rough plan. If we head this way, we're going to go to Chorus Landing, right? Like, that's where the pass through the mountains is. So that is obviously the shortest way. That actually worries me, because if we are allowed to go up through here and we don't do it now, then that means that at any point along this road or down on the road to Chorus Landing, we might trigger a cutscene or something, or there may be some kind of encounter that will subsequently spell an end for Chapter 7. I don't know if that's true, because Kaelyn's last chapter was pretty short. That would mean this chapter was pretty short as well. I don't know if they intend for it to be that short. But what I want to do instead, because of risking that, is to avert that situation. I want to head up here to Camille and East Bank instead, and see if we can travel up this direction. So, yeah, exactly. We're going to take the scenic route in the hope that maybe, we can get a little more oomph out of Chapter 7 before we say goodbye to it. Okay. Excellent. We're off to a good start. A successful surprise attack. I want a chance, even though the combat can drag on a little bit, to potentially increase Kaelyn's skills for when she does reunite with William and Aren. Because since her previous chapter was so much shorter than theirs, that means that she just simply has not gotten in the practice that they have. So I really want to bring her up to snuff. I don't want her lagging behind. There's some skills I'm not going to focus on, like her repair skill. It's going to go up a bit just because she's the one doing the repair work on their weapons and armor. But I really don't care about that because when she gets back into the party with William and Aren, his repair skill is going to be almost maxed out. So, like, whatever, right? That's not really her job. Likewise, lockpicking, kind of eh. So, thank you, bot. They got here early this time. See, the skills of the enemies have increased a bit, but their equipment is about the same, so we're dealing with a higher melee and defense skill. And that means that about the only thing we can really do is increase their melee and defense skills to counter. And that being the case, like, that's going to be even more important when they rejoin. Because there's always a difficulty spike of some kind, whether it's equipment or skill-based. You know, like, at the beginning of a new chapter or whatever. So I have to assume that that's going to happen again. And if so, I don't want Kaelyn dragging the team down, not when she's been MVP most of the rest of the game since we've been together. The encounters seem to be spread out a little bit more than they were in Chapter 6, however. Which is not a bad thing. Oh, and of course this is the one that has the tavern instead of the inn. Okay, well that's fine. We probably should visit the tavern. I walked past it because it wasn't an inn, but it's not like NPCs can't be in taverns. Okay, that's the gambler. It's another skill we don't need to worry about. Let's see here. Anything else interesting going on? Okay, this is the... That's right. This is the healing fountain. Right, we have to pay to sip from this because the prophet once drank from it and now it will heal you. Let's see here. "Excuse me, sir," Kaelyn said to the man who opened the door. "We were wondering if you know of any way we can cross the river." The big man laughed heartily. "No one? Core, I am one. Missy, don't you recognize a riverboat captain when you see one?" Kaelyn searched for an identifying insignia or badge, but saw none. "No, I guess I don't." The captain looked down at his shirt sleeves. "Can't say I blame you, what with me being out of uniform. Don't know if I can even call myself a riverboat captain since those ray-kissing bottom-feeders took my barge." Kaelyn ventured a guess. "Gonish mercenaries, right?" The captain eyed her suspiciously. "Aye? How would you be knowing that?" "We've seen their handiwork. They're after some friends of ours. We'd like to get to them first." The captain scratched his chest. "Afraid I can't help you go anywhere without my barge. I'm about to head downriver. Maybe I'll find her beached on the riverbank. Not too much the worse for wear. But I suspect I'll be lucky if those lubbers didn't sink her on a sandbar." Okay. And that's the end of that conversation? Well, I'm kind of surprised. Like, I don't yet know what that's leading up to. Do we know this treasure chest exists? Is this a new treasure chest? Ooh. Ooh, oh no. Her scouting went up from that, which means that is an accurate read. It's unlocked, but it's also trapped. Oh. I'm going to have to put a marker on this and maybe come back to it because... Yeah, the only thing in here is, no. We know better than that. But what I am going to do is see if we can buy some lockpicks, maybe? Somewhere around here? That would be even worse somehow if it was actually a glitter bomb. Oh, man. Because once glitter enters your life, it never leaves. It would be like a permanent status effect. Oh, hey. The door was opened by a man whose face was red with irritation. Do I remember this guy, or is this new? Without giving Kaelyn a chance to get a word in edgewise, he launched into a tirade.
It's about time you got here. It doesn't take a moon to travel from grandeur. If the consul can't send a representative in a timely fashion, he shouldn't bother sending one at all.
Kaelyn decided to play along. I'm sorry, sir. Truly sorry. Now, what was it you wished to see me about? The man blustered.
What I want to know is why Imperial security is so lax as to allow saboteurs to destroy 2 bridges within weeks of each other.
Uh-oh. So, a riverboat captain with no barge and 2 bridges destroyed. It's starting to sound like the game doesn't want us to cross a river, maybe.
That's a very good question, Kaelyn agreed. With my own eyes, I saw the destruction of the bridge south of town. Looked like a couple of youngsters were responsible. Now, if the Imperial Guard can't do something as simple as...
The man faltered as he noticed Raal for the first time. Kaelyn encouraged him by asking for a description. He continued, uneasy in the Grulf's presence.
Well, one of them was a mage, that much was obvious. Don't we have procedures to keep hostile mages away from decent citizens? Don't we have laws about that sort of thing?
Kaelyn was growing impatient.
Can you describe the mage or his companions? There were 3 of them, one dressed as a Pianda noble of all things.
That was all Kaelyn needed to know. On behalf of the consul and grandeur, I thank you for your diligent observation and report. Be assured we'll take care of the situation. As they turned to go, the man spoke to their backs.
I wasn't aware there were any Grulf working with the consulate.
Raal turned back, treating the man to a white-fanged Grulf grin.
There aren't,
he said, then casually sauntered down the path to the road. I like when Raal gets his digs in. Ooh, who's this lovely lady? Come in, called a voice through the door. Kaelyn and Raal entered the cottage to find a young woman seated at a table, polishing a thick gold bracelet. Kaelyn greeted her, offering a compliment on the bracelet's beauty, and the woman poured a dab of lotion onto a cloth, which she vigorously applied to the gold. You know, because you got to moisturize your gold. If you don't, it dries out real bad. This is my most prized possession. It belonged to my mother and her mother before her. Several days ago, I almost lost it while I was rowing on the river. My boat hit a rock and sank. I swam to shore, but the bracelet slipped off my wrist. If it hadn't been for Stephen's help, I never would have found it again.
Stephen?
Asks Raal. He's a mage from East Bank. He waved his magic staff over the water, and the river bottom rose to the surface. I searched the mud for my bracelet, and it took a long time to find it. I could see the strain on Stephen's face, and his arms were shaking, but he kept the water away until finally the sun glinted on the gold, showing me where the bracelet lay. Lucky the mage happened along when he did. Yes, I thanked him and offered to pay him for his trouble, but he left quite quickly without saying a word. It seemed rather odd, actually. Well, said Kaelyn, we won't be that rude, but we should be going too. Good day. Okay. And this is the prophet's house. The door opened, and Kaelyn saw the blank white eyes and realized the man standing before her was blind. To her surprise, he greeted them with, "Good day, milady huntress, and to you, young Grulf." You've met him before, though, Kaelyn. I think. Oh, no, wait, no, she hasn't. She hasn't, has she? Because they split the party before we came up through the mountains via Chorus Landing. And it was William and Aren who went all around this area, around, like, Berlin. Yeah, that's the province of Berlin. So she hasn't met the prophet, has she? Ooh, okay. I don't mean to be rude, but how can you see us if your eyes... The man answered simply, one does not require eyes to see. Have you come for a blessing? Yes. Yeah, this is the guy who he asked for an unbloodied sword. And I think, didn't he bless the insurance policy? Like, that's where this happened, right? Which arm of the triune do you represent? The man's voice took on deep, ringing tones that made the air vibrate. I represent all, or none, as you see fit. I do not split my faith into three and then decide between the parts. I open myself fully to whichever face wishes to speak through me. Then a blessing from you would be 3 times as potent. The prophet frowned. Mine is the faith of peace. My blessings are not gifts of power. To receive a blessing, you must relinquish a sword, pristine and unmarred by battle. A sword unmarred by battle, you say? I believe. Oh, phooey. Well, it was worth a try. I was hoping that one of these swords would be at 100%, but I guess not. Well, that's alright. Since we're here anyway, and we did come all the way back, then rather than waste the trip, what I am going to do is... There we go. I'm going to grab a couple of these suits of armor, because the armor shop is right here, and as we pass it, we are going to pop in and sell that armor, recover a little bit of the money that we spent on food and staying at the inn and so forth. And then there is a weapon shop up in, what's the next town called? East Bank, I think? Is that right? Yes. That's where the weapon shop is. So maybe we can buy a sword there and bring it back if we don't find one along the way. Because I don't know what his blessing will do, but I certainly want to find out, because last time he blessed our insurance policy. So I don't think that Kaelyn is going to benefit over much from that, having no such item in her inventory, but I mean, it's got to do something, right? I need to repair after this fight. At least as much as I can. Alright, take him down, fellas. Oh, if it hadn't been for that shield, they might have done. I was hoping we could get rid of one of them with the surprise round. Yeah, that's alright. He still went down before they could do anything. And that's what we like. If you hit them, the melee skill still goes up. Ooh, he's got a bow. Ooh, okay. Well, you go over here then. And you go over here. I guess we're doing it this way. Man, I cannot wait until she gets that onyx blade, because Kaelyn is already such a beast where she's quick enough to get multiple turns in melee. And so, when she has a really good sword like that, ooh, it's going to be something to see. I know it is. Oh, I thought that guy was going to run. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't. TBPH. There we go. 3 down, 1 remaining. It's the final inning. It's Raal up to bat. He swings. Oh, it's good. And, ooh, there we go. Oh, that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. Kaelyn gets a new bow. Okay. Armor. Let me do this first. We even have beeswax and bowstrings and stuff. So let's see. What's going to be the quickest and best way? Let me give a couple of these items back to Raal to make sure that she has room to pick one of these up. And it does not really matter which one she uses, because we're going to do this. Boom. Goodbye, faithful longbow. And now we'll give those back to her. See, y'all made the right decision when you wanted to trade for the archery supplies. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So now, armed with that, Kaelyn is going to be even more deadly in ranged combat. I feel like the big difference between that and the other bow, I forget what it's called, a Ridgewood bow or something like that, where the Grolf bow is very accurate and has a decent damage mod, and then the other one has like no accuracy bonus but a big boost to your damage. I feel as though the Grolf bow is intended to make archery viable for people with lower archery skills. And then the other one is like if your archery skill is maxed out and you don't really need the bonus to accuracy, because it's just not going to do much for you, then instead you can trade for that other one and you can get a big hefty bonus to your damage instead. We're not quite at that point, though. We were starting to kind of get there, but... Okay, good, we can buy Whetstones here, anyway. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's only 87 burlas. Yes, good. Okay, I was looking over here, and it's like multiple hundreds of burlas for these swords. Thought, I don't know if it's worth almost 1,000 burlas, like half of our money, to go back down there and get that blessing. But it's definitely worth 87 to just find out like what he's got in store. Alright, let's see. What are we up to here in East Bank? Nothing. Okay. The door was opened by a young man who would have been handsome but for the dark half circles under his eyes. A millennial, obviously. Who is it? I really don't want to be disturbed just now. He started to close the door, but Kaelyn interjected. Are you Stephen the Mage? Yes, but I don't really see. Kaelyn continued. We thought you might be able to help us cross the river. Distracted, he responded. The river? What? I don't... Raal elaborated. Don't you have the magic to part the waters? A young woman in Camille said The mage interrupted, a sudden interest lighting his eyes. Woman? What woman? Was her name Pamela? Raal thought. I don't know her name, but she stood about this tall, had brown eyes, and extraordinary hair. She said she'd lost a bracelet, and you helped her find it. The mage sighed wistfully. Skin as fair as Istin linen, with eyes that glowed brighter than the purest torchite gems. Kaelyn arched an eyebrow. I don't think I would have described her that way, but sure, that sounds like her. The mage replied dreamily, Her image is painted forever upon my memory, though I met her but once. Kaelyn snorted. Once? If you like her, why not go see her? Oh, I couldn't. I just wouldn't know. I mean, what would I say? What would I do? She's so beautiful, and I'm sitting here alone instead of telling her how you feel, Kaelyn finished. It's not that difficult. She's a woman, not a Karn. His eyes sparkled with hope. You'll help me then? You'll go to her, talk to her, tell her how I feel? And Kaelyn backpedaled. I didn't say that. I can't. I'm no matchmaker. If you help me, I'll have you across that river in no time. Raal grinned. We do need to get across, little archer. Why not help our friend here? Kaelyn curled her lip in a mock snarl. Thanks a lot, fur brother. All right. I'll do it. To the lady's bower let us fly. We'll win her love, or at least we'll try. Upon hearing Kaelyn's attempt at poetry, the mage began to look worried, but summoning up a weak smile, he wished them good luck with his fair lady love. Okay, so I guess we've got to go back to Camille anyway. Okay. So, what do you want, the guy says. And Kaelyn says, we're just passing through. The man grimaced. Well, don't expect to take the southern bridge on your way out, 'cause you can't. It's out. And don't expect to take the northern bridge neither, 'cause there's a pack of racketeers charging outrageous fees to cross over. Saw themselves an opportunity to cheat honest citizens, they did, and they're stationed every couple of feet, so no sooner do you pay off one than there's another blustering and threatening. Yeah, I can't afford their prices, so I had to turn around. Why aren't the officials dealing with the situation? It kind of... It sounds like that bridge in the first Pokemon game where all of like the Team Rocket trainers are like make a gauntlet, and then at the end you get a nugget. Yeah, there's supposed to be a troop of guards on their way up from Berlin, but by the time they get here, it'll all be spoiled anyhow, the man complained bitterly. Are you a traitor by any chance? Yes, and I'm stuck with a wagon full of Asprazen cheese melting in the sun. The trader brightens. Say, you wouldn't happen to be in the market for some cheese, would you? I can let you have it at, let's see, a special rate of 15 burlas a wheel. Should we buy some cheese? 15 burlas does seem like a steal. Yeah, it's true. I mean, we did need cheese not that long ago. Okay, sure. Yes, as a matter of fact, we would like some cheese. Kaelyn paid the trader and received an odoriferous package. Hey, are you sure this hasn't spoiled already? She asked, holding her nose. Oh, no, the trader assured her. It's supposed to smell that way. Aged in the damp, cold caverns of the Asprazen coast, this semi-soft cheese had a sharp bite cherished throughout the Empire. Transport in sweltering caravan wagon beds only seemed to deepen its heady flavor. I'm sure that I've read that description before, but it's funnier now that it's like immediately relevant. Okay, I think it might have just been regular cheese, but... Okay, nothing. Nothing. Alright, well... Let's head back. Kaelyn knocked. Pamela, are you home? The young woman answered the door. Oh, hello again. How are you? Kaelyn answered hurriedly, anxious to get this errand over and done with. We're fine, Pamela. We've come to deliver a message from Stephen, that mage over in Eastbank. It's sort of a... well, I guess it's a poem. Pamela looked pleasantly surprised. Really? From me? How exciting! Kaelyn cleared her throat. Oh boy. Here goes nothing. Your eyes glow like the torchite stones found deep beneath the ground. Your hair's like the flowing sea with seaweed ribbons bound. Pamela was smiling. Kaelyn took a deep breath and continued. Your skin's as fair as Istan linen, or perhaps as cloth from Choth. I long to rush to your embrace as the flame flies to a moth. Raal interrupted. Kaelyn, shouldn't that be... Kaelyn hissed, Shush, Raal. I'm doing the best I can. Pamela sighed. Oh, please do continue. Kaelyn spread her arms wide for the dramatic finale. To win you o'er is my heart's dream, and that I'll not deny. By steadfast love I pledge this day to woo and win or die. Pamela looked like butter on a hot day. Oh, that was so charming. I had no idea. Tell Stephen I'll meet him on the night of the next full moon down by the river. He'll know the spot. As Kaelyn and Raal departed, Raal asked, Won't Stephen have trouble living up to the poetic reputation you just made for him? Kaelyn shrugged. I doubt it. If his kisses are only half as bad as my poetry, I'd say he has nothing to worry about. Wow, okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and trade for the blessing. Just because I don't know how much back and forth we're going to do. Okay. Sword, unmarred and pristine. The prophet examined the weapon with his sightless eyes. Yes, this metal is pure, unstained by blood. I will give you my blessing. The companions knelt before the prophet, who set his hands on their heads. In a voice so low as to be almost unintelligible, he said, Man lives but once, though in that life is 1,000 lives. Man dies but once, though in that death is all eternity. Blood, breath, and bone, ocean, air, and earth. The fire that binds us is the fire that burns. May your flame burn clear and still in the winds of the world. The companions rose to their feet. Funny? I didn't feel a thing. The prophet shrugged. I can cast the hook into the waters, but I cannot make the fish bite. Go in peace, and may the Triune's wisdom come to you in time. Okay. It's like, listen, I can't bless what isn't there. I.e., your insurance policy. I wonder why Pamela gets a portrait and Stephen doesn't. Well, despite her outward calm, Kaelyn felt a jitter of excitement. Stephen, come out here. We have something to tell you. In seconds, the mage stood beside them on the steps. Yes. Did you see her? What did she say? Milking it for all it's worth, Kaelyn spoke slowly. Oh, not much. We talked for a while of this and that. Nothing important. The weather, price of milk, that sort of thing.
Kaelyn, Raal chided. The poor fellow is about to burst.
Kaelyn grinned. Pamela asked you to meet her at the same spot on the riverbank on the night of the next full moon. The mage danced around the yard like a moon-crazed rabbit. After a few minutes, Raal cleared his throat to catch Stephen's attention. Looking sheepish, he returned to face his benefactors. I don't mean to, Oh, wait, that's Raal.
I don't mean to detract from the joy of the moment, but you agreed to help us cross the river, remember?
Stephen nodded. I definitely owe you a favor. Meet me by the grandfather tree on the bank. You've made me very happy. She's so beautiful, so lovely. Kaelyn grabbed Raal's elbow. I think this is where we came in. Stephen, we'll see you down at the river. Come on, Raal. Let's go before he starts in on the chorus again. Cute. Okay. Okay, so they said the southern bridge, which is this one that we didn't go over, was destroyed. It was like burned down. And the northern bridge, which would be the one between Grandeur and Berlin, is the one where the Team Rocket is at, trying to force us to, like, you know, pay a tithe. So, or a toll, I should say. So that being the case, I'm guessing that this guy is probably the only way across. So I'm just going to go ahead and we'll find him, take that across the river, and then we should have access to the other side of the province. I'm not going to belabor the point. Okay, and here he is. There we go. Okay, I guess this is why he didn't get a portrait, because he was going to get a whole sprite, maybe? I guess he's not bad looking. As promised, Stephen was waiting for the companions. Stand back, and don't move until I tell you to, he says, waving his hands over the river. As if an invisible boat set sail from the shore in front of them, a tiny wake appeared. It crossed to the opposite riverbank, the ripples spreading outward and growing with each passing moment. Raal studied the wake and realized that the trough wasn't getting deeper. The river was getting shallower.
Look, Kaelyn, he's raising the riverbed.
Soon they could see the river bottom rising from beneath the surface until a muddy path connected the banks. Through gritted teeth, the mage gasped,
Go now, quickly. The pressure's tremendous. I'm not sure how long I can hold it.
Oh. Woo! Okay. Upon safely reaching the other side, they waved to Stephen. He lowered his arms and the path dropped beneath the surface, water crashing in to fill the gap. Within seconds, the river flowed normally again, and Stephen waved to them and walked away. Alright, so I guess that means that, there's no way back. That's kind of cool, though. I like that he even got the different sprite, like with his hands thrown up. Okay. This is going to take us to, what's it, Everton, I think, is the name of that town? And, of course, there's dudes, like, right away. Yes, I would like to try and surprise the enemy. Thank you. Okay. Mercenaries. Let's give them what for. Yeah, these guys are taking a lot less damage. They must be wearing breastplates instead of leather armor like those other dudes were. And I mean, like, you can't fault them for that. But I do hate it, though. Ooh, I hate that more. You guys aren't allowed to use shields. Only we're allowed to use shields. I thought this was made clear. We're not doing a whole lot. I think I may need to, Like, I don't want them to 1 and 2 us to death. I'm going to use some oil. There we go. We'll get a little bit of bonus damage. That didn't seem like a lot, though. She hit for 19 instead of... She had been hitting for, like, 14. So... Not a big difference, but that's some. Any bonus damage is good damage, as long as it's for us. And, of course, it's going to add up over time, so since she gets multiple hits... That's better than Raal, who already hits a little bit harder than her anyway. Having like 5 or 6 bonus damage. I'm just gonna let them run away, actually, if that's what they really want to do, I guess. I hate to spend something like an oil or whatever and then have them run after we do a bunch of damage to them, but... There's also not much I can do to stop them. Because if we can't cut them down in melee, we don't really have anything to chase them with, and this is a small battlefield, too. There we go. Okay, well, we got 2 of them. That's not terrible. Hey! We got back most of the send water that we used. That's pretty cool. Free rations. Nice. Floor cache. A whetstone. A whetstone. Well, now I'm a little more miffed that we didn't get to kill the other 2, because if they all had the same stuff on them... Okay, let's see here. Her repair skill keeps getting better. I'm not mad about that, because after all, she does have to hold out until we find William. Plus, it makes sense. That's honestly a skill that I feel Kaelyn would have. We didn't give it to her.
I've got a gut feeling about this place. We'd best be cautious.
Fair enough. But just because William already had it, but... He's not that hurt, but just because you never know. Alright. It's only 3 this time, so hopefully they won't be nearly as much of a threat. And more importantly, perhaps, they might be easier to take all of them down. We ought to get a larger proportion, at least. So if we kill 2 of them, that's still technically more than we did in the last one, if only one of them gets away. Kill 2/3 instead of... 2/3 is more than half, right? These guys aren't running away as quickly either, so... Of course, once we chew a little bit more through this guy, the other one may decide to book it. Can't worry about that. Sometimes you just have to concentrate on what's in front of you. Alright. Yeah, he's still not leaving. That's fine with me. Ooh, of course he has a shield. I mean, we knew that. Surprising no one. Ooh, twice in a row, though. I dislike. Haha. Joke's on you. We can do that, too. Come on, now. How many hit points does this guy have? Oh, well, we'll never know. Okay, sure. Oh. They're, like, right here. Ooh, huh. Hey. Once again, not bad. If they're going to drop supplies like these, I don't really mind. Does that stack? No, okay, that does not stack with the oil that we had. But we do have 2 flaming broadswords and a fire-resistant breastplate. Now, of course... Oh, that broadsword's not blessed. I guess we never did get to really bless it, did we? Huh. I'm hesitant. I can't let it go because it has the Wraith Slayer enchantment. So, otherwise, I would totally trade it out for one of these. Well, I guess not, really. Because that flaming enchantment's only going to last 1 battle, isn't it? Whereas the Wraith Slayer is permanent. Because that's just oil or whatever. There we go. Hey, her melee's all the way up at 71. That's pretty good. Defense is 52 now. Repair is 48. Stealth is 56. Yeah, 66 is not bad either. Okay. I keep doing that in the wrong order. Like, I should totally put the sack marker down first and then save it. Okay, that's the maze. We already solved the chests. So... I hate that we left that chest back in Camille, but there's nothing we could do about it. We just didn't have lockpicks. So, well, what's done is done. Okay, so now the next question is, where do we go? Berlin or Everton? And... They're not quite equidistant, are they? Berlin does look closer. So, I'm thinking maybe that we go to Berlin and then make a circle and come back to Everton. Kind of the direction that I'm thinking. Because that way we could hit all of these areas, come back around a circle. There's not much in between here. It's probably just going to be battles, so we can like skip this section maybe by looping around. And then if there's not much in Everton, we don't have a whole lot of backtracking to do in order to like go back and visit Isten. So this way we get all of this and before we go down here towards Chorus Landing. And we don't need to go east from Berlin because we know that that bridge over there is where some mercenaries or bandits or what have you were doing their thing with a toll. Okay, let's see here. This is the inn. Nothing new, I guess. Oh, there is something. Kaelyn cocked her head, her attention caught by a conversation between 2 Jaegers nearby. Caverton's in hot water over this whole consort fiasco, the first was saying. People are moving against him in the Shira. I hear he's been calling in years' worth of favors just to hold on to his interests. The second man nodded agreement. There's talk in the palace that the Emperor might transfer the governorship of Tikor to another house. Requests from major houses for imperial audiences have tripled already. It's quite a bee's nest. The conversation drifted to other topics, and Kaelyn looked at Raal. Well, that explains Caverton's sour mood, but I hope they're wrong. I'd hate to see Caverton ousted. Raal's ears pulled back in surprise. That's very noble of you. Noble nothing, Kaelyn snorted. If Caverton got cut loose from Tikor, he'd only make more trouble elsewhere. Better to see him clinging desperately to his position, but without any real power. Makes him easier to keep an eye on. Not that watching him is my problem.
Raal chuckled. My mistake. Forgive me. I should have known better. Her eyes narrowed at the Grulf's mirth, trying to decide whether or not she'd just been insulted. Lol. Of course, it takes 1 hour more. Look at that. Yeah, okay. Oh, actually, because we're in one of these types of cities, I guess we should rest to make sure that we can get in here. Okay, this is an armor shop. Oh. This shield still has that enchantment on it because we sold it there. 25. I don't think that that's worth that much money. Ooh, I just realized we actually did forget to buy Kaelyn an upgraded shield. We didn't get her a kite shield. Well, hopefully there will be some place to purchase one. But we don't have anything to sell. We don't have anything we need to buy. And we don't have a pass? Oh. You've already seen your pass. That's... I guess it triggers it for the whole party so that way you don't have to worry about having one. Yeah, because they don't have a pass. Now, I don't think... Yeah, I think that, like, we've seen all of this already. It doesn't look like there is anything really new. Okay. The sturdy wood doors refused to budge. Raal pointed to a sign hanging from the door handle. On sabbatical. Okay, so that guy just left. Well, I hope that there wasn't a side quest attached to him or something. Because that fellow was quite an interesting character. Alright. Like I said, I'm just going to ignore the maze down in here because it's probably full of new enemies. And we could grind skills on them. But the treasure chests and the dig spots, William and Aren already took care of all that. So it's going to be mostly empty. Ooh. Okay, this is... No, it did say they stepped from the shadows. I was about to say that's my fault. I just wasn't... I was looking for bandits and mercenaries, not mazaliths. But I guess this is technically an ambush and we just didn't catch it. Okay. I think this might be the first time we've ever been ambushed by non-human enemies. Usually you can kind of see them coming. Yeah, it's the return of the poison potatoes. The green potates. Y'all have called them potatoes so long, and like since the beginning of the game, that's gotten stuck in my head that that's what they are. And I've started thinking of them as potatoes too. And so whenever I encounter them, it's always that scene from Invader Zim where it's like, the potatoes are bad. They're bad, nasty potatoes. This is Ilona? Yes. This is the town that randomly has, like, a jeweler's shop. Which is fine, because actually, hey, we need to sell some jewelry. Ever since that one puzzle where we used an emerald to put it in the eye of the statue, I have been loath to part with, like, any gemstone that I can't find someplace to purchase one if I need one. But thankfully we can buy rubies here, so, like, I don't feel too bad about selling this ruby. If I'm desperate for a ruby, we know where we can come back and get one.
Okay, nothing. Hey, oh, I forgot we left stuff here. Lockpicks. Yes! And we don't need this. This is an extra academy pass, and that's useless to us, apparently. But hey, now we've got lockpicks. Oh, that's such a huge sense of relief. Who is this character? I think we dealt with this person before? The door was thrown open by a man wearing a gaudy velvet cloak and a maniacal gleam in his eyes. He held high a drawn sword. I'm ready for you, Mayrot swine. Raal tensed, but Kaelyn held him back. Down, boy, and I mean both of you. The man relaxed somewhat, lowering the sword but maintaining the maniacal gleam. All right. I can tell you're not attacking Mayrot hordes, but I'm taken care of for when they do show up. See my protection? Kaelyn reached out to touch the cloak, and the man jerked back. Don't touch the cloak. It's centuries old, made by one of the mages who created the Imperial cloak itself. How about that? Kaelyn arched an eyebrow. Where'd you get it? The man winked confidentially. A man in Berlin sold it to me. It was the very last one he had. Cost a lot, but swords can't penetrate it, won't even scratch it. Let's see the Mayrot try to hurt me now. Quick as lightning, Raal lashed out with his staff, knocking the man as flat as a halibut. Raal observed dryly. Thank you, game writers. Swords aren't the only weapons the Mayrot can use. Kaelyn chuckled and helped the poor fellow to his feet. The companions went on their way, leaving the chagrined, though somewhat wiser man to rub his new bruises and reconsider the Mayrot threat. So, I like that there's no dispute about whether it's magical or not. Like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That doesn't matter. What matters is that if blades can't pierce it, you can still be beaten to death with sticks. Oh, hello. Thank you again, game writers. Kaelyn knocked loudly on the door. Yeah, flat as a halibut is going to stick with me. That's pretty good. Some minutes passed before it opened, revealing a young officer in the process of buttoning up his trousers. Yes, what is it? Make it fast. I'm rather in the middle of something. Kaelyn heard a giggle from the pile of blankets in front of the fireplace. She grinned. I can see you're busy, sir. We won't take up any more of your valuable time. Sorry to disturb you. And you too, miss. Or mister. As Kaelyn turned to go, Raal grabbed her arm. He was rude to you, skin sister. Do people in this part of the Empire not learn proper manners? That's all right, Raal. I think he's already learning everything he needs to know under the circumstances. Okay. What was this encounter for? Like, was there a reason for it? I'm not mad, I just... Like, whatever. That's one of those where, I mean, it's an I'm just happy to be here encounter. Where it adds something to the flavor and atmosphere of the game without really mechanically doing much. Has anybody else noticed? Like, I hate to draw attention to it for fear of changing the situation, but do y'all agree that these roads are a little empty? Like, there's only been 2 Mazlith encounters this entire distance? And, like, that's fine. But now I'm waiting on, like, a boss encounter to just jump up out of nowhere. Okay, this is where the missing mage murder mystery was. Oh, and I remember this girl. A little girl opened the door playfully to greet the strangers. When she saw Raal, the laughter died on her lips and she ran screaming into the house. Her father hurried into the doorway, a dull sword in his hand. Seeing the The man paused. Raal crouched to defend, but Kaelyn yelled, "No!" and stepped between them. The man dropped his sword and held out his hands. "I'm sorry. I heard my daughter scream. She's never met a Grolf before. Allie Renee, come here." Oh yeah, wasn't this the guy who, like, had a crush on the dead wizard or something? I don't remember. He was involved in that quest somehow. A little face peeked out from the safety of the house. "I said, come here. It's all right. He won't hurt you." Raal tried to make himself smaller and less intimidating. "I'm not such a bad fellow once you get to know me. Really." Unfortunately, Raal's dagger-toothed smile sent the child skittering back into the protective shadows of the cottage. "This could take all day," Kaelyn sighed. "Come on, Raal. Let's go." "No, Kaelyn. This is important. What this small one thinks of me today may determine her opinion of growth for her entire life. Go if you wish, and I'll catch up later." Kaelyn paused. "No. That's all right. I'll stay." Though it took some time, eventually Allie Renee became comfortable with Raal. So comfortable that when her new friend tried to leave, she clung to his fur and begged him to come live with her and her father. Finally, Raal managed to pry himself out of her grasp. Cute. Okay, well. Direct anti-racist action. Acclimate the hairless ones. Okay, this is the place that actually has a bow and arrow shop. A Fletcher, if you will. We have 3 bowstrings and 9 beeswax. I'm gonna sell nothing, because once again, the loser who runs the shop doesn't buy the same things that he deals in. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, we have more beeswax than we need. We're not using it, especially since we have those bowstrings. Uh-oh. Kaelyn sniffed the fragrant air. "Raal, smell that? A bakery. Let's go in." Raal turned away. "Go if you like. I'll wait for you across the road." "What's the matter, Raal? I know Grolf don't eat grains, but nobody's gonna force you. Come in to keep me company." Raal swallowed hard. "Actually, I think it would be better if I moved upwind and quickly." Kaelyn followed Raal out of range of the bakery's enticing aroma. "Raal, you don't know what you're missing." The Grolf looked distinctly green beneath his fur. "Kaelyn, the thought of eating bread is as appealing to me as the thought of eating raw field worms would be to you. That yeasty odor alone makes me nauseous." Kaelyn cocked her head to one side. "I never knew that about Grolf. Better not get me mad, Raal, or I'll put muffins in your sleeping blanket and dinner rolls in your pockets." Rude. Nothing. Oh, that's the dead guy's house. Okay, anything in the tavern? It's another one of those little world-building encounters where it doesn't really do anything other than expand the lore of the world, which is something. And I appreciate that. Love that stuff. And there is just, I won't say just the right amount, but there is a satisfactory amount. I could do with even more of that, honestly, from this game. Just because there is so much game. Okay, this is the kids playing the Pebble game. Okay, well, so that's not useful to us. Get on down the road. Get on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be a roast. Get on down the road. Oh, can we make it to Everton before it gets completely dark? I don't want to chance it. Because I said that about there not being anything but Mazliths, and I know for sure that no sooner do I say that than, like, there's going to be bandits all over the place. And if it's dark, I will run into them. So, we'll just play it safe. Okay, I'm going to go over here to the shop first. Just see if they have any new inventory. And it looks like they don't have anything that we didn't sell them in in chapter 4. We're good on Sen water, I think. We haven't been guzzling this stuff, so I guess we're all right. Well then, and we don't need to go that way because that just rounds the corner back to Berlin, so... Alright. Oh, this is the house of that asshat that we chased across the street and killed over there. To be fair, he was a bad guy. If you missed that episode, definitely do go back and watch the rest of the YouTube playlist. It's all good, but also, like, I'm not going to explain all the fine details of how that happened. Just suffice to say that he had it coming. So, nothing in here. Okay. One of these was like the lady who had the sick sister. Is this it? The flower boxes and curtained windows invited the party to approach the house. The door was soon opened by a plump, apple-cheeked man wearing a checked napkin in place of a cravat. A chorus of children's voices sang out, "Who is it, Daddy? Who's at the door?" Before the travelers could get out a word, the man was joined by his wife, every bit as round and pleasant as her husband. "Oh, my dear, don't keep these youngsters standing in the door. Invite them in, my pet. Invite them in." The husband complied with his wife's hospitable wishes, and before they knew what happened, the companions found themselves seated at the head of a long table staring into the scrubbed faces of 10 or 12 children. 10 or 12 pairs of shining blue eyes stared back. Someone managed to stammer, "Oh, but we couldn't intrude on your meal," before the rumbling in their stomachs drowned out the words. They surveyed the table, groaning under the weight of platters filled with carrots and yams, roast meat, savory pudding, and tender greens. Well, all right, maybe just a mouthful. An hour later, feeling as stuffed as goose-down pillows, the companions bid farewell to their hosts. Oh, well. There's been a few of those in the game, which I really appreciate. It's just, sometimes you just meet nice people who see some road-weary adventurers, and they just basically drag you into their home to be aggressively kind at you. So it's like a free meal. And that's nice. It's just a reminder that there are good people in the world. Okay, that's the house that had the blue lock on it, or whatever, green lock. Okay, is this the girl who had the sick sister, maybe? The frightened woman barely opened the door wide enough for Kaelyn to catch a glimpse of her. "Excuse me, ma'am, we're looking for some friends of ours," and the woman interrupted. "Please, just go away. We don't want no trouble." The door closed. Kaelyn looked at Raal, perplexed. "What did I say?" Quickly and quietly, the door opened again. A tow-headed 12-year-old girl beckoned them to follow her. When they were out of earshot of the house, the girl asked, "Does one of your friends have dark hair? He's really handsome." Kaelyn rolled her eyes. "That's a matter of taste, but yes, I suppose so. And my other friend is fair and carries a staff. Have you seen them?" The girl grinned with conspiratorial delight. "They said some men were after them, so I hit them." Kaelyn commended her. "That was brave of you." The girl puffed out her chest with pride. "They were with another man who talked funny. The handsome one said if a woman in a group came looking for them, to tell them they're missing all the fun. That's you he meant, huh?" Raal nodded, then asked, "Where did they go?" "South, to Kyaga Pass, toward the capital." Kaelyn and Raal thanked the girl for her courage and reliability. As they turned to go, Kaelyn gave the girl a quick, spontaneous hug. "Hey, what was that for?" Kaelyn just smiled and bade the girl farewell. As she and Raal turned away, he shot her a quizzical look.
She reminded you of you at that age, didn't she? I thought so too, a bit. Though, of course, you were a lot more disagreeable.
Man, they really must be best friends because he digs at her every chance he gets, and I love it. I'm living for that. Okay, this is the woman that I thought of before. The one who needed the Sisters of Snadrin. Curtains waved in the open windows, and the party was greeted by a happy woman carrying a smiling babe in arms. This is my nephew, Natty. She lapsed into baby talk. Isn't he a fine boy? Isn't he a pretty boy? Kaelyn agreed somewhat tentatively, privately thinking that she'd never seen such a homely child. I'd invite you in, but my sister's resting. Her fever's broken. It looks like she's beaten the pox, but you know how it is when you've just given birth. The woman eyed Kaelyn's flat stomach and clear eyes. Or maybe you don't. But you will someday. Kaelyn grunted noncommittally. We'll see. The woman blushed. Oh, I didn't mean any offense. I'm just so happy. So, I know that, like, the running joke has been that William and Aren are boyfriends, but I feel like this chapter is confirming Kaelyn for, like, she is like an ace lesbian or something. I don't know. She's just... William is so handsome. That's a matter of taste. Yeah, you'll know someday. Yeah, we'll see. She's just so not interested. Like, she's got other shit to do. Okay, well, cool. So that girl told us basically what we already knew. She has confirmed that we need to head to Chorus Landing, because that is the Kiaga Pass. Unless I'm completely nuts, because it's the only pass that I know of, actually, come to think of it. I can't think of another one. Is there another one? Well, regardless, it's the one that we're going to. Okay, so we could just pay to go to Chorus Landing. That is tempting, because we do have the money and we're not really using it for anything else, and it's a bit of a walk. But that means we won't get to see Isten. What do y'all think? Because I have been trying to make sure that in each chapter I go to every town and check it out to make certain that, like, that we don't miss anything in case something's new, because in a lot of these towns we go and there is some new conversation that wasn't there previously. Something has changed. The game has been pretty good about that. So I'm afraid that if we don't go to Isten, we could miss something, but on the other hand, it also kind of feels like we've got everything that we need. We came up through here, we were told about the river and stuff, so we didn't even need to go this way. Everything over here kind of led us around in a circle, and then we went over, and if we had just gone this way to Everton, we would have met that little girl, and she would have told us to go straight to Chorus Landing. So, since there really wasn't much up here, there's probably a good chance that there's not going to be much of interest in Isten, too. I feel like if we don't go check it out, then we'll have missed something. But if we do go, there will be nothing, and it will have been a complete waste of time. So... Oh, wait. I have an idea. Actually, maybe, tell me if this is a good idea. This place will send us to Isten as well as Chorus Landing, and Isten is actually closer to Chorus Landing, I think, than we are right now. So... there's only 30 Burlas difference, and we have the cash. I just saved it. What if we just go to Isten and see if there's anything worthwhile? And if there is, then great, and we'll walk from there to Chorus Landing. And if we look around and there's not, I can just load it, and we can just pay to go to Chorus Landing. How's that strike you? So, I don't think that Kaelyn and Raal got to go to, like, the theater. So there may be something there. And there's also the Temple of Sinadrin. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna try it. Let's make it light again here. Sister Sinena greeted them. Okay, so we know who she is, even though we haven't met her, technically. There's nothing else. So, okay, let's see if there's anything down here. Nope. This is the shop. Which, this is kind of a... Yeah, this is sort of a mix and match shop. And we have pretty much all of that stuff. Like, the only thing we don't have is animal pelts, and I don't know what we would use those for. We're not going to go back to Balmestry and trade them to Kaelin's friend. Oop, walk past the door. Nothing. There's a whole lot of nothing in Isten, it seems like, maybe. Okay. Yep, more nothing. More nothing. Ooh, an armorer's hammer. I think we left that there ourselves before. Oh, hey! There's something that's probably still in Isten. There was like a treasure chest. This one right here, I think. Yeah, I lost track of which way I was pointing. But this treasure chest over here in the corner on the way to the theater, since treasure chest contents don't change, this should have all of the crap that we offloaded from William and Aren. Yes! Look at this. It's the handkerchief, all the colored keys. All of this stuff, which means we can also... We'll put that in there. Is there anything that we want to take? Not really, I don't think. You know, I'm going to leave that attractor because I think William still has some in his inventory, and as far as we can tell, it doesn't really seem to wear off. I don't know if the shield has to block a certain number of shots or something before it happens, but whatever it is, if it wears off at all, then we have not yet reached that limit. We have not met those conditions. The dervish discs, we don't need. They don't really seem to do much, so, well. I got excited, but there really wasn't a whole lot to be excited about, I guess. But that's alright. Take what I can get. Let's see if there's anything at the theater. Okay, Kaelyn tugged at the doors, but they didn't budge. She pounded on them with her fists. Hello? Hello? Raal tapped her on the shoulder. Kaelyn, look. He pointed a thick finger at a broadside pasted to the ticket window. Theater closed. Watch for the grand premiere of Kate E. Steen's hilarious new comedy of the absurd and the Triune Makes 3. Okay. I kind of want to see that, though. Where is the fan script for And the Triune Makes 3? It's a religious comedy. Okay, well, on the road again. I guess that's it. Huh. Oh, of course. Wildly. This dude's corpse is still here. What the... What in the world? Okay, well... You know, I kind of feel like Kaelyn got the short end of the stick a bit. She had some neat gimmicky adventures up to this point, like with the Wraiths. But her chapters have been short and a little bit empty. There have been some filler battles, but I feel like she just... Oh, do I see our boys? I think I see our boys. Okay, of course, sure.
Kaelyn, Raal, it's good to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you
It certainly
too.
wasn't hard to track you two. We just followed the path of destruction, and lo, here you are.
We've been doing all right so far, but now we're in a tough spot. This here's the consort. He's still a little woozy. As you no doubt noticed on your way in, we're surrounded by mercenaries. If we leave
I
this
did not
cozy
notice.
hidey hole, they'll be on us in a second.
Got any girl tricks up your sleeve, Raal?
We could make snares and tripwires. That would slow them down. There are plenty of rocks in the area. Do we have rope and oil?
I think so. William, wait until you can tell if our traps worked, then get going.
How will we know?
I'd say the abundant cursing should be a dead giveaway. When you hear the commotion, make for the pass and keep going until you reach Antara. Don't stop no matter what.
But Kaelyn...
It's our best chance. Don't worry, Aren. We'll be fine.
You better be.
Raal, are you with me? Let's go.
Okay. Well... Neato. So, let's see, rope and oil. We do in fact have rope and oil. Oh! Explosive flasks. A small length of oil-soaked rope poked out of the container. When set alight, the fuse would burn slowly until the flame contacted the oily pitch inside. Kaelyn planned to be far away for that explosion. Cool, okay. I don't see any dudes. Oh, wait. These must be the dudes. Party is fatigued and need to... Okay, fine. Whatever. There. Okay. I do see some guys. So let's find out. Okay, are we just taking them out then? Surely not. That would be kind of wild, though, if that's what the game expected. Like, they saved all of the encounters up and there were none on the road so that then you could just, like, fight all of your random battles at once here at the end of the chapter, I'm presuming is where we're kind of close to, because, like, we did find the guys. So... You know what? This seems like a great place to do this. Because the last few sets of these dudes that we have encountered, they had fire resistance on their armor. They didn't have ice resistance, so maybe that will add a little bit more damage. Didn't really look like it, but... Let's see. 19. Well, that's still better than 14. Again, as before. Nice. Come on. Come on. I don't know if we're actually supposed to fight these guys. They may say something when we come out of the battle like, you You know, this is an alternate route that we chose, or there are too many of them. No, we have to use the Molotov cocktails or whatever. Hey, if y'all could hit, that would be great. There we go, that's more like it. There he goes a-running. We've got a runner. Good. That means that, oh, well, never mind. I was about to say that means Raal will have to go on that side of him and block his path. But it was not to be. Now this is a much better setup, though. Just a regular mercenary. Why are you so hard to hit? I hate it. Oh my gosh. There. Sorry that this is dragging out. They just... the breastplates that they have and the defense skill is just, you know, just not doing a lot of damage. There's not much I can do about that. I wonder... No, probably not. Well, but spells stack. I was wondering if you could use the Frostband and some oil on the same weapon to add damage, like, from two different sources. I'm guessing no, because there's only one enchantment slot on a weapon, so the most recent one probably replaces whatever was quote-unquote underneath it. Okay, and they're right back, so... Hey, her melee did go up to 72, though. Defense went up to 53. It's not bad. Okay, let's try this, though. Yes, okay, there we go. The fuse burned quickly. Kaelyn and Raal shielded their eyes and mouths as the flask exploded, filling the air with a cloud of greasy black smoke. The mercenaries, their lungs filled with the choking fumes, quickly dispersed in search of fresher air.
Aren and William aren't out of the woods yet. We'd better make sure their path is clear. I think we have some more mercenaries to take care of.
Do we? Like, okay. There may be several groups. Now, do we still have explosive flasks? No. Okay.
What's wrong with this thing?
Well, you just didn't throw it far enough. That's what's wrong with it.
Aren and William aren't out of the woods yet.
Okay, we have some more. I think I saw some over that way. Yeah. Looks like there's at least one more group. Well, we only have one more flask of oil. They're lucky that we had any at all. Especially because I've been using it, but it would be very easy to just not have any on you.
It must be broken or something.
And like, what would they do if that was the case?
That should do it.
There we go.
William and Aren should be in the pass by now. Let's follow their lead and meet up with them in Antara.
Well, I am super glad that we picked up that other flask of oil, because that gave us exactly as much as we needed. If we hadn't done that, we might not be able to clear this part of the quest. We may have to, like, or may have had to go back and purchase oil somewhere. And at least there are shops where we could do that, I think. But still, like, that would be rough, because there was no forewarning that we were going to need it. And of course, how could there be? So it's reasonable that they didn't tell us at first, but let's see. This is an inn, I think. Yes, good. Phew. Rest there. We'll hit up the shop. Oh, we need to give her some send water. She's out. She is out. The door was answered by a young woman with thick blonde braids pinned in coils on top of her head. She looked at the companion's dusty boots and stained traveling clothes, then at their packs and weapons. "No siree," she declared. "I simply won't have it. Not again. I won't have 2 more strangers waltzing off the road, telling their tall tales and making my poor husband restless and discontented. You'll have to go bother someone else this day, I'm afraid." The door slammed in the companion's startled faces. Kaelyn laughed. "Offhand, I'd say William and Aren have been here before us. Made quite a good impression, too, wouldn't you say?" Yeah, I remember that place. Oh, this is the cheese lady. Let's see. Sylvie welcomed Kaelyn and Raal to her shop. Noticing their weapons and travel-stained clothes, Sylvie asked if they were mercenaries. "No," Kaelyn answered, "just on a bit of a journey." Sylvie nodded in understanding. "I was born in Balmestry, about as far from Chorus Landing as you can get. Never could keep still for a minute as a kid. My mom said I must have jumping fleas in my veins." Kaelyn smiled. "My dad said that about me, too. When I was 14 or so, my mom died. That's when I hit the road. Had a lot of adventures, made a lot of friends, and not quite as many enemies. Saw it all once and did it all twice." "How did you wind up here?" Raal gestured at the small, though cozy shop. "Ran out of money or shoe leather. Been so long I can't recall which. It's not a bad life. Traders and trappers come through on their way south to Antara, bringing news of the Empire, and I got a nice little house in the woods, a garden, couple of dogs. Alright, so it's not as exciting as being on the road, but it's also nice knowing where I'll be sleeping at the end of the day." Apparently struck by inspiration, Sylvie brought a bottle up from under the counter. "Ginuli juleps, anyone? Seems like the right weather and the right company for them." Raal backed away from the bottle. "Not for me, thanks. You go ahead if you want to, Kaelyn. I'll see to it that you don't fall in the river." Lol. Okay, we do have shovels. I am not gonna buy send water, because I feel like we're closing in on the end of the chapter. Probably. As Kaelyn and Raal approached the house, the front door opened, and a big man in an open-necked shirt emerged. He sang a song that Kaelyn immediately recognized from taverns throughout the Empire. "I've never been a hero, and I've never been a mage. I've never changed the minds of men, as I am not a sage. I've never been to foreign docks." The man broke off when he saw the strangers. "Hello! It's a grand and glorious day today, is it not?" Kaelyn remarked, "You seem to be in an awfully good mood for a man who looks like he's heading off to work." "Oh, you're right, I am. So it seems. Here, I thought I was drunk. I completely misinterpreted this character. I'm a man who likes to work. Keep me from working, I get as jittery as a Sherka in the nest. That's right. I'm sticking with it. I'm committed now. I'm going to work drunk. The shipping strike went on far too long. I'm darn glad it's finally over. Say, you two look in need of some ready scratch. Why not come down to the docks with me? I got a ton of furs and skins to load, and I'll pay you well if you'll lend a hand." The man winked at Raal. "Or a paw." Ooh, our choices are work or shirk. What should we do? What could this possibly gain us? I guess, like, would he just give us some money, maybe? Because he said he's got a ton of furs and skins to load, and he'll pay us well. So, fair enough. That's a good enough argument for me. Let's do it. After all, we just talked to an adventurer, a former adventurer who settled down, right? So it does pay to have a day job. Raal shrugged. "Sure, why not? A little exercise in the fresh air should do us both some good." Kaelyn looked doubtful, but decided it couldn't hurt. The dock worker thumped the Grulf on the shoulder. "Great, I appreciate the help. They walked down to the harbor where the ship was waiting, her holds open and empty. The dock worker showed them the ropes, and soon they used them to hoist the furs on board. While they worked, he entertained them with songs and idle conversation. So what do you think of the kidnapping? Kaelyn tried to act casual. What are you talking about? Where have you been? The entire Empire knows that the Imperial Consort has been snatched. The guard passed through Chorus Landing on their way north. They'll most likely come back this way as well. You don't have to worry, though. As far as I know, they're not looking for a woman in a growth. Raal and Kaelyn snuck weary glances at each other behind the dock worker's back. They had a feeling they knew exactly who the guard was looking for. After a few hours of labor, the furs were stored below decks. The dock worker paid his hired hands 30 burlas each, plus a bonus. Take this shield, too. It sort of fell off a ship. Okay. Well, free shield. Okay. Well, this is the last house, so this must be the last encounter. The man's sash of authority identified him as one of Chorus Landing's finest. His manner identified him as an officer, but no gentleman. Eyeing Kaelyn up and down, he leered, My, look what Henna has brought to my doorstep. How about stepping out on the town with me, little lady? Kaelyn figured she could catch more rats with cake than vinegar, so she played along. After turning to wink at Raal, who stood back in the shadows, she flirted. I always do admire a man in uniform. Then you've got a lot of admiring ahead of you, sweet thing. I happen to be the official in charge of the night shift, so I always know where the action is. The officer put his arm around Kaelyn and gave her shoulder an affectionate squeeze. He blinked. You've got some good muscle there, girl. Kaelyn giggled. I like to give massages to my friends. The officer grinned salaciously. Well, I'm the only friend you're going to need in this town. You can help me spend the burlas I made during the shipping strike. Yeah, that was easy work for some damn fine money. The officer handed Kaelyn a bulging money bag. Pretty impressive, huh? Kaelyn simpered. Oh, yes. I've never seen such a big, heavy money sack before. Not that I'd understand it, having no head for such complicated things. But what did you do to earn such a fortune? The officer snorted. Nothing, really. Bust a few heads, confiscate some cargo, just generally make it so unpleasant around the harbor that the dock workers had no choice but to strike. And someone just paid you all this money for that? Kaelyn asked innocently. Lord Caverton has deep pockets. Enough about the affairs of state. Let's get down to business. I think we should first go inside my house to get to know each other better. Then we can hit the taverns. I've got some friends who would love to meet you. Kaelyn pulled free of the officer's embrace. Oh, I just remembered something. I told my boyfriend to meet me here right around now. On cue, Raal stepped out of the shadows. Hello, Kaelyn. Who's your friend? Raal growled amiably. The officer backed up a few paces until he stood in the doorway. Your boyfriend's a Grolf? You're a dog lover? He shouted. Get out of my town before I have you arrested for not obeying the leash laws. Ooh. Raal grinned, showing double rows of sharp white fangs. Oh, they have shark teeth? Pleasure to meet you too, officer. See you around. Kaelyn patted Raal's back as they sauntered casually down the path. Nice self-control, fur brother. As tempting as it seems, it would not be prudent to chew up an officer of the law right in his own town. Maybe we can figure out some other way to teach him some manners. Well. So, Lord Caverton is responsible for... Mazlith's attacking us right outside of town. I'm literally still in town. So yeah, Lord Caverton is behind the dock workers' strike. That's a juicy little tidbit that I'm sure someone would love to know. Perhaps the Emperor himself? Yeah, right. He wants to be racist towards the girl, and yet there are lizards in the actual literal street. I'm gonna check these for treasure, he said, knowing that he would be looking into the empty void of a blank empty inventory screen. Well, that's alright. We don't expect lizards to carry treasure. Although some do, and I hate it. Okay, let's see. We are... There's Antara, I think. Over there. I want to make sure we're pointed the right way. So we are finally here. The titular Antara, parentheses, Betrayal Inn. We came here before, and of course, there was nothing to do here, because the first time that we were able to approach Antara close enough to see if we could go inside, we were being hunted by the guards. Which means that going inside would have been a death sentence. But now...
Your friends and the consort are safe, little archer. It's time for me to go back.
Tell Kerfalak my father and I will come for the Harquan ceremony.
I will, though you know you don't have to wait that long to visit.
Maybe I won't. Raal, thanks.
Indeed.
Without your help, we'd probably be rotting in the Imperial dungeons now. If there's ever anything I can do for you...
I know. You don't even have to say. Go with the wind, little archer.
Go with the wind, fur brother.
Alright. And we get to keep all of his stuff. Excellent. Good, because he has some good stuff. I figured that they would probably do that. I'm going to take this necklace of communion. Well, we might as well just take all of it, I guess, and then we'll pick through what we need. So, yes, the bucket's definitely coming with us, and so are these drums that we never use, and these fishing poles. We're going to let him keep the staff and the armor, though, just because we have no use for either of them.
How long are they going to keep us waiting?
Sit and stew. A standard procedure in jail.
But you're not some minor bureaucrat. You're the Imperial consort, and you've been missing. They must have been worried silly over you. Something doesn't add up here.
Greetings, strangers.
Hey, Kaelyn!
So, what took you so long?
Hey, I'm glad to see you too. Just couldn't tear myself away from my new friends.
Where's Raal?
He said to give you greetings, but he had to get back to his pack.
Well, thanks for getting those mercenaries off our backs. Good job.
Sure. No problem. Guess that makes us even now. Hey, looks like we've got company.
They're sending out an honor guard.
I wouldn't wager on it.
If His Highness would be so kind as to follow me, I will escort him and his companions into the palace.
But not before we pick up this stuff.
Something tells me we don't want to go this way. Let's turn around.
Thank you, yes. I'm just trying to get to our sack. Okay, first things first. The gang is all back together. And you know what that means. Inventory management. That is the same sack, yes? Okay. I just want to make sure. It really does, honestly. Like, I'm legit pretty excited. I'm also very excited for this. Yes, indeed. And will the armor fit now? Yes. Even better. Look at that. She is kitted out. And that means... Let's see. Adventures of Carl Maston. We have a few things to trade around, and we have some stuff that different people are going to want to take. What is this? I don't even know anymore. Who's got what? You take this. We have shovels. I'm going to get rid of the 6 shovels. We're going to take the 7. And we don't have any beeswax, but we do have this. I'm just going to leave the beeswax, honestly. We'll take the bucket because you never know when you'll need a bucket. And I think that'll do us. The only other thing is some of these books need to be read by various characters in order to get the skill boosts from them. But I'm pretty sure that when we click on this door, it's going to be the end of Chapter 7 and the beginning of Chapter 8. We've got to be getting close to the conclusion of Betrayal in Antara because the gang is all back together. I am so excited to see what comes next. But I think I'm going to wait until next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is New York and Miami time here in the U.S., for the next episode of Betrayal in Antara. That way we can start off on a really high note. So I hope that you will join me then here on Twitch. Don't forget to follow and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're watching on YouTube, then, of course, please come and join the live stream, and you can follow and turn on notifications here as well. If you're enjoying the series and missed any of it, then there's a whole playlist. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you should be able to see it. And all of the series that we've done on the channel are on YouTube as well. Follow me on Twitter and on Facebook as well for updates about the channel, and I will hopefully see you next time. Until then, as always, thanks for playing.